Tammy Faye. What'd you do?
Hello, Mother. This is Jim Bakker, my husband.
Hi, Sean. So nice to see you.
So I am coming to you from the beautiful southern city of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I need to know, filming this story in this location, did it impact your preparation and your performance? And if so, how?
I mean, absolutely. First of all, I love Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm about to make another project in North Carolina. I love Charlotte so much. I was like, please, Charlotte. But we're going to go to Wilmington, which I also hear is amazing.
It is.
So I love North Carolina.
Thank
So
you.
Congrats to you for living there. It's a great state. It was very, very important being there. I mean, on all aspects. Every Sunday morning, I would pick up Andrew with our Starbucks and we would go to Heritage USA. And actually, you know, it's run by, I think it's Morningside Church now, but a lot of the people that were there with Jim and Tammy are there now. And that's how we'd start our week. Also, it was constant with like people on the crew knew her. You'd go into a store and someone would say, I used to, I worked at a waitress and I knew Tammy and she was always the nicest. I mean, every conversation, people knew Tammy and there was not one negative thing that they said about her. They loved her.
Some people, they're just hurting so bad and we just need to love them.
I love North Carolina and I loved Charlotte. It was my first basketball team that I loved was the Charlotte Hornets because of Muggsy Bogues and because he was, just like, he gave me hope that I could someday make pro because he was, as tall or short as he was, but what a legend. So like, it was my first basketball vest I ever had was his vest and all that stuff. So like Charlotte.
The purple and teal.
So that's, Charlotte, the Hornets have a close, very close to my heart. And yeah, shooting the movie there was awesome because obviously, Heritage USA was around the corner from where we were shooting. And so the energy of the place was incredibly useful and the people are so wonderful and the food is so big and great. And so I had a really, really great time.
There's a tick that I adored in your performance. And I think it says a lot about Tammy and it's the laughter.
Amen.
It's almost like a nervous laughter, I'd even go so far as to call it. Can you talk about incorporating that into your performance and what it meant?
Yeah, I mean, her laugh is different than my laugh. Her smile is different than my smile. And Michael Showalter helped me with that because you can only do so much. You can get the voice and the accent and the pitch and all of that fine. And then we were looking at me fully in the look and we're like, something's not right. And he said, it's the smile. It's like the way she holds joy. So I realized that because I'm a big smiler and a big laugher. And I was like, oh, I've got to take away Jessica's way of doing it and put on her. So when she smiles, I use both, like my whole mouth. You would see her top teeth. So she only smiled with her upper lip, which, that took some practice doing. Wow. And then also the way she laughed, it was nervous, but it was also like, it wasn't demure. Which I love that about her. There was nothing demure. She was definitely a lady, but she was like, she knew how to have a good time. And so I needed to hear that laugh in my ear all the time.
God loves you. He really does.
We're not doing anything wrong, though.
Is that a question?
Andrew, there's a moment in your career that without exaggeration is a religious experience. For me, personally, I watch it once a year, if not every 6 months, and it's your emotional speech to the fans at San Diego Comic-Con when you surprised them.
So thanks for having me. This is definitely the coolest moment of my life, and thank you for being here and sharing it with me.
But watching Jim Bakker connect to an audience that wants to believe and who hangs on his every word, I was just curious if you could see any parallel to that experience and to what you brought to this role. Could you carry anything over from that magical moment to help you understand him better?
Yeah, sure. And thank you for saying that. And that was one of the most magical moments I've ever had. Was being able to speak from my heart to a room full of people that I felt a part of and I always have. So thank you for mentioning that. It's one of the great memories. I never watched the video back because like I just wanted the pure experience to remain, because it was one of the most pure experiences I've ever had in terms of connecting with a group of people that I felt connected to. So it was very cool. So thank you for reminding me of it. And with Jim, yeah, I think it's the same thing. I think Jim feels like he is an advocate for Jesus, an advocate for goodness, an advocate for community, an advocate for joy and through Christianity. And so he really is in touch with a sense of purpose and a longing to please his, Father in the sky. So like I think that there is a definite kind of otherwise, he built so much, like he did so much with his time at PTL and at Heritage USA. Like he built an empire from the ground up. So in order to do that, the drive, the desire, the passion, and the purpose has to be there, and he felt that. He absolutely felt it. It was misguided in certain ways, I think he would admit now. But yeah, there was a genuine authenticity to it as well.
I built you an empire.
You built you an empire.
Knowing that you picked up the rights to this in 2012, I believe, you've lived with this character for almost 10 years, just thinking about how to portray her. How different would she have been if you tried to do it in 2012? Just how different you would have been.
Well, I think the movie would have been much different because the world is different now than it was in 2010. I mean, it was very important to me. I didn't want to focus on the gossip. I didn't want to traumatize anyone. I didn't want to profit off of another's pain. I wanted to right a wrong that the media had done to Tammy. There was so much drama and sensationalism and inaccuracies. I wanted to show the true story of this woman.
Tammy and I are undergoing the most vicious attacks.
Also, the idea of the makeup. I think if we had made it much earlier, people, because when we talked about this, and I was so grateful for the studio for following, for allowing us to go, you know what? We don't need to explain why she wears the makeup. She feels beautiful. That's enough. Why do we have to always explain how a woman presents herself? It's no one's business.
Have you never done pictures without those eyelashes?
Nope, and I never will.
Right.
And I think the studio, everyone had the courage to tell this story now. And I wonder if in 10 years, before we, really got into the conversation about women in society, if that would have been as important to everyone.
I won't go forward looking in the rear view mirror of my life. This is who I am.